Welcome to Engine Adventures review of the 2021 Toyota Rav4 Prime. This is the plug-in hybrid version of the Rav4. So now I will have tested the hybrid, the TRD off-road, and the Prime. So this one has that same 2.5 liter inline four, but because it is a plug-in hybrid, it's got some pretty decent electric motors, which bump the output to 300 horsepower. I'll put the exact number up on the screen. It might be 302 or something, but right around 300 horsepower. And the instant torque of the electric motors makes a huge difference in this thing. It's not super fast. Your 0 to 60 is not going to be anything incredible. No, we'll do that a little bit later, but it does respond immediately. So when you're passing on the freeway, when you're trying to get up to speed to get onto the freeway, whatever, it just goes. You don't have to worry about it. There's no delay waiting for it to downshift and figure out what it needs to do. It's just where it needs to be. It just goes. The CVT on these, pretty awesome design. I'll let you look that up somewhere else, but basically it's a planetary gear system, but it is an all gear driven system, so you don't have any belts or anything. Pretty cool design. It is a bit more expensive. I think the TRD off-road I tested was just around 48,000. This one's just barely under 50 and pretty nicely equipped. So inside, this one has leather seats and they feel pretty good quality. All this stuff's kind of harder plastic. This part right here is actually, I don't know if you can see it indenting, but it's actually a little bit soft. So finally, this is one of the first, or maybe the first vehicle I've been in that has a tiny bit of padding there, so when you rest your elbow on it, it's a little bit softer. And all these, it's like a rubber something, I don't know, or it's got foam underneath it instead of hard plastic. It's just got a little bit of a soft touch to it everywhere, which makes it a little bit more comfortable and nice to drive. I learned, so you have a button here, it says hybrid mode, EV mode, charge hold mode. So if you hit it, right now I'm in EV mode, right here. And if I hit that button once, it goes to hybrid mode, and that will basically maintain your battery right there. So I charged it last night, and then I used this hybrid vehicle mode so that I could have basically a full battery when I got here to the test site. That way we can do some electric only testing. But then if you push it and hold it down, we'll see if it does it. Charge mode. It's unavailable because the battery's full. But if you push that and hold it down, it will actually charge the battery. I used that a little bit yesterday. It didn't charge a ton in my 20-minute drive, but if you need it to charge for on your way home, and then when you get into the neighborhood, you can use electric mode if you want to be quieter or something like that. That's a good option. And then over here, it's the same thing. You have auto, which will switch between hybrid and EV, or EV mode if you push it again. So auto mode or EV. I'm sure that's hard to see. I'll probably have to zoom in on it. It does have paddle shifters. Again, it's a CVT, so there are no gears, but I noticed, you push the minus one and it will do some engine braking and charge the batteries for you. Pretty cool. The screen is nice. I don't know if it's updated for this year. I'll have to double check that, but it seems nicer than the last Rav4 I was in. It's really clear. It does have surround view cameras if you come over here on the left. So you got all these buttons. This is just the interior light, brightness, auto high beams. This heats the windshield wipers by heating the bottom portion of the windshield. So you can't see the windshield wipers, but it will heat down below there to make sure and de-ice your windshield wipers. And then here's the camera button, heated steering wheel. There's a 120 volt outlet with at least a 10 amp, might be a 15 amp fuse in the back. So, or a breaker, I guess, I don't know what it is, but 1500 watts. So you're getting, 10 amps at 120 volts, and then that's the rear hatch. So hit the camera button, and you can't just leave it in this mode as far as I know. it'll do this little surrounding thing, and then it's gonna do that. So that's the kind of camera system you get. And if you put it in drive, you don't get to see that kind of look through the vehicle mode. Pretty cool, decent camera. Let's go into reverse. And it plays the alien sound. I don't know if you can hear that. Letting you know, letting people around you know that this is an electric vehicle in reverse. Again, you can change the type of view. This one does go full screen. And you can zoom in a little bit more there as well. So, like I said, the camera quality is okay. It's not amazing, but I've been in vehicles with worse camera quality. I can make out all the little rocks down here. And some vehicles, that is a little bit tough to do. I'm going to throw it back in park, and we're going to switch it back to charge hold mode. So we'll keep us charged up. Right here, heated and cooled seats for both the front two seats. Traction control off, and if you just push it and it will turn it off. If you push it and hold it, you get the vehicle stability control, pre-collision brake system, all that stuff gets turned off, as well as traction control. So if you're gonna do donuts, turn all those off, and good luck doing all-wheel drive donuts. You could probably do it in the snow, but anyway, this one, I don't know if I've mentioned, is all-wheel drive, and you can see it here. It will show you how much power is going to each wheel, and here it shows you what's happening. So right now the engine is charging the battery. If we start to roll forward, we'll get the battery moving the front wheels and the rear wheels, or just the front, or sometimes the engine will power the front as well. So the engine is only connected to the front wheels. The electric motors run all four wheels. We do have a decent sunroof here. There we go. Oh, sun on. There we go. Automatic. It is the full panoramic. Goes all the way back. Front portion opens, of course. The rear portion does not. My sunglasses don't fit in here. And you can see that I'm keeping them right there. But it does have wireless charging. And then also power port, USB under there. Inside the center console, two more charge ports right there. USB. They are regular USB A's, 2.1 amp. The other drive modes that we didn't talk about here, you have Eco Sport, you push it down for normal, and then trail mode. And I am in EV mode right now, and if I hit the trail mode, it stays in EV mode. One thing I didn't mention while in the front seat is that it's getting about 41, 42 miles per gallon in hybrid mode only, but it has 40 miles of range. So if I charge it at home and charge it at work, I'll never have to use gas, essentially. The rear view mirror does have the camera. There you go. And the camera, and you can adjust the brightness and where it's aimed and stuff right there. So you have the settings button. You can go through and adjust all that stuff. Back here, heated seats as well on the outboard. And then, trying to get this in the dark so it'll focus better, but two USB A's, also 2.1 amp. And in the center, a couple of cup holders. Here is the charge cable, and it, when you lock your car, it will actually lock this so you can't get it out. Kind of cool, so they can't unplug your car or mess with it when you're charging. And this one's just the 110 volt regular plug. I wish they would come with 220 so I could see that as well, but I was about 25% battery last night, charged it overnight and got to 100%, which is plenty of charge for me. Rear hatch, the rear window doesn't open. And quite a bit of space back here. Here's your 120 volt outlet, another 12 volt. Decent amount. And then there's plenty of room under here to store your charging cable. So it was wrapped around this initially when I picked up the vehicle. So your tire or your jack is back there with all your components here, and then of course spare tire, and looks like a decent 5-spoke rim. Anyway, there was also a fuse box under there. The seats do adjust a little bit, so you can put it here. When you close it, just barely close it down, it'll go to there, and then you can push it back a little bit more, so they are adjustable. There's the engine setup. It is transverse mounted, and then you've got some of the controls for the electric motors right there, and generator, all that kind of stuff. And those orange wires are the high voltage stuff, so they make those really bright to keep you safe. Around the passenger side is where the charge port is, and you just push it. On the driver's side, to open the fuel fill, you have to pull the lever inside, but out here you just push that and pop this off, and there's your charge port. And then when you lock it, that will push down against the charger, so you can't get the charger out. The base price is $41,425 for the Rav4 Prime. This one's the XSE with all-wheel drive, and then this one has quite a few upgrades. Brings the total up to, looks like $49,461. So that's a pretty significant price. It's a great vehicle. Really have enjoyed it, but that's quite a lot of money for something this size, where you can get the Mercedes GLB for that price and have a lot more luxury, a lot more performance, a lot less reliability. So, I mean, you can weigh your options, of course. I'm not saying this is a bad purchase. It's just for what you get for it. There are other options out there that might give you more for the same price or less. Okay, 0 to 60, just flat footing it. Stop. 3, 2, 1, go. Spun the tires. So that was in EV mode only. Go ahead and switch it to hybrid mode real quick. There's no one behind us. Okay. And 3, 2, 1, go. Holy cow, that one really spun the tires. 60. Significantly faster in hybrid mode than in EV mode. And quite impressive, actually. I think that was pretty quick. We'll have to put the actual numbers up from the manufacturer on the screen. The first one in EV mode, I was going uphill a little bit. The second one, I was kind of at the crest of the hill. So we'll do just a quick acceleration here. We're going 50, 70. Like it's so quick responsive wise. It immediately gets the engine up in the rev range. It's got the electric motors that give it torque, just launch it away. So I do love, sorry the music was on. Anyway, I do love the responsiveness of this thing. It makes for quite the good driving experience. It's not like in some other vehicles this size where they have enough power, but it just takes them a little bit to get going. And this one, not at all, it just goes. It's got a good ride inside. It's a little bit noisy, so it's not over the top. I've noticed this. It's the same as all the other Rav4s. It's not significantly better than any of the other ones. It's about the same. So if you're cruising at freeway speeds, it can get a little bit louder in here, or seem like it, but it's not anything over the top, nothing to be concerned about. It's smooth, so it rides pretty smooth going over the bumps and everything. It's controlled. You hit the bigger bumps, no problem. Overall, I give the ride a pretty good score. It does really well. Here we're going to merge onto the freeway, and you'll be able to hear what it's like on cement and over the expansion joints, which honestly didn't even notice them really. So there are some vehicles where those expansion joints are the worst, but in this thing, as we'll see in just a second, actually we're on cement now. It's not that much louder in here. It is a tiny bit louder, and the expansion joints aren't upsetting it at all. You can just barely feel them. Thanks for watching Engine Adventures review of this 2021 Rav4 Prime. If you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications, and hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like it and you give me a thumbs down, be sure to comment down below so I know why, so I can make changes. Have a great day.